Anthony Black committed to Arkansas in late March of 2022, just over 7 months before Arkansas played their first game of the 2022-23 season. At the time of his commitment, he was the 5th ranked shooting guard in the country and the 20th ranked player overall. Black is listed as a shooting guard and has the size to play on the wing effectively, but has also played a lot of point guard for the Razorbacks this season. Arkansas has had a relatively disappointing year after starting the season as the 10th ranked team in the nation. They've dealt with injuries to some of their key players and have struggled on the road thus far, currently sitting at 2-7 away from their home court. But Black has been a bright spot, starting every game and chipping in across just about every statistical category. Black isn't a player that's going to pour in a ton of points on most nights, but he's been a steady contributor on both ends of the floor and is trending towards being a late lottery pick in the 2023 NBA draft. The first strength for Black is defense. Black's strength in this area starts with his size and quickness. Black is listed at 6'7", 198 pounds, and moves very well out on the perimeter. He can comfortably switch across any perimeter position with his size and quickness. He is just incredibly difficult to shake. His other strength on defense is how active he is on that end of the floor. Black has very active hands as evidenced by his 2 steals per game and is all over the place both on and off the ball. Sometimes we will see defenders that are engaged on the ball but have a tendency to fall asleep away from the ball. Black is locked in 100% of the time on the defensive end of the floor, always working to be in the right spot and make life difficult for offensive players. Black looks like he will be ready to contribute to an NBA team defensively from the jump. Another strength for Black is playmaking. As mentioned earlier, Black is listed as a shooting guard, but he definitely possesses some nice playmaking chops as well. At 6'7", Black can see over the defense on the perimeter. This allows him to see passing lanes that smaller players may not be able to. He also is smart when it comes to manipulating the defense with his movements. He has the size and athleticism to get inside and draw defensive attention, and also the wherewithal to know when to change speeds and allow a passing lane to open. Black may not be considered a true point guard, but he should be able to provide some valuable secondary playmaking ability at the NBA level and run the offense for stretches if needed. One weakness for Black is shooting. Through 29 games, Black is shooting just under 32% from 3 and 72% at the line. These aren't completely awful numbers, but they're definitely underwhelming for a perimeter player. And beyond just the numbers, Black doesn't have a very good looking shot. He's a bit slow getting shot ready and shoots from under his chin. Black can shoot enough to allow him to still get to the basket with some regularity, but teams can leave him alone on the perimeter and go under screens without worrying too much that he's going to burn them. If Black were to improve as a shooter, he could be a really nice two-way player in the NBA. But if his shooting stays closer to what it is, I don't think he'll quite have the offensive punch to be more than a role guy. Another weakness for Black is turnovers. While Black has displayed some nice ability to set up his teammates as a playmaker, he can be a bit careless with the ball. Black is currently averaging just over 3 turnovers per game, including 13 games with 4 or more. Black turns it over a lot because he is not afraid to throw a risky pass. Black will try to squeeze passes into very tight windows that others will simply not attempt. This leads to some of Black's dazzling assists, but can also lead to live ball turnovers and transition opportunities for opponents. The team that drafts Black likely won't want him to stop being himself, but they may want him to recognize what risks are worth taking as a passer. This first clip displays some of Black's skill on the defensive end of the floor. The play starts with Black defending off the ball on the wing. The offensive player pops out and receives the pass well away from the basket. As he turns to face Black, Black knocks the ball out of his hands. The offensive player recovers and drives left towards a screen, but Black gets over it and walls off any drive to the basket. The ball handler then reverses course and tries going right, but Black cuts him off again and forces him to give up the ball. Black can be a menace on the defensive end of the floor and could be ready to contribute in the NBA defensively right away. This next clip shows off Black's ability to play make. The play begins with Black receiving the pass near the top of the arc and driving left to set up the screen. He takes a quick first step, jump stops, allows the roll man to get free, and splits the pass between the 2 defenders for the dunk. Black is not only good at passing the ball, but also has the skills and patience to manipulate the defense and allow his teammates to get open looks. This final clip shows how Black can struggle with turnovers at times. The play begins with Black grabbing the rebound and bringing the ball up the floor. The defense isn't fully set, but it also isn't a transition opportunity. All 5 defenders are back. Then at about half court, Black tries throwing a lob up to his teammate underneath the basket. The ball is knocked away by the defender and goes the other way. Black's risk-taking leads to some of his best assists, but he will want to learn when it is a good time to take a risk versus when it will hurt his team. Anthony Black's numbers from this year don't exactly jump off the page, outside from maybe the steals. He's one of those prospects you really have to watch to see what contributions he makes. This is why he's being mocked in the late lottery despite not having dazzling stats. He just contributes in so many different ways: passing, handling the ball, versatile defense, and some scoring. He looks like a player that should be able to find a foothold in the NBA even if he's never an overwhelming star. I could definitely see Black being a valuable rotation player at the NBA level. My NBA comp for Anthony Black is a big Markelle Fultz. Fultz was the #1 overall pick of the Sixers back in 2017. Some weird injury stuff and some general weirdness around the team led to him being traded to the Magic. Fultz is now a key player for an up-and-coming Magic team. He still isn't much of a shooter and doesn't put up big scoring numbers often, but he contributes in a lot of other ways just like Black has for Arkansas this season.